It is so wonderful to be with you. Let's get straight into this video. It's a juicy one. We are talking about how to be a strict girl, how to level up your dating life and go from attracting jokers to attracting kings. So I'm going to share with you some of my standards that I have in dating. And these standards, some of them may seem controversial or extreme. That is the point. Because I don't want bare minimum or basic results. I want a beautiful and a polarizing relationship and marriage for you. And so I'm going to give you some of these standards that will help you to maybe stretch that rubber band, that maybe feel uncomfortable, but they are what I have grown to set in my own life and have changed my outcome completely. If you saw what I was allowing in college versus now, it was night and day difference. I used to be someone who was okay with situationships, was okay with disrespect. And now, in the last few months, what I remember is I had a conversation with my mom the beginning of the year, and I thought my 21-year-old self would be so proud of me now, because that conversation with my mom in the beginning of this year was, I told her, Mom, I just feel like a princess. I feel like a queen on these dates. And it's because of these standards. So I'm really excited to share them with you. Also, I saw this idea from another TikTok content creator. I'm going to put her link to the original video in the description because I think she was wonderful. Welcome in, ladies. So good to be with you live. Okay, number one, my strict girl rule is I do not give out my social media to the men that I'm dating. That is my policy. That is my rule. There's a few reasons why I do that. The only way for a man to earn access to even know what my social media is, unless he does his own FBI research, is for us to be in a committed relationship. If he wants access to my life force energy, what I require is high effort, time and energy and financial investment to plan a date. Seeing my photos, seeing my videos, seeing my life updates on my stories, that's for you ladies and that's for my family only. If he wants the cheap access to me by scrolling and looking over my photos and videos, he can take me out on a date. That is my requirement. Social media, it's such a false sense of connection. And as soon as a man gets your social media, what will tend to happen is, this is especially if he asks for your social media rather than for your phone number, is he thinks you guys are connected, you think you guys are connected, he almost puts a backseat position on, he goes into hibernating mode, he doesn't need to hunt anymore, because technically you're in front of him at all times. So it's such a false sense of connection. That's why a lot of men, they swipe up on your stories, they like your pictures, but they never ask you out or move towards commitment. It's because they have a false sense of connection already. So I cut that cord. And with social media, if a man wants to understand my mindset, my beliefs, my values, it needs to be from his own belief system, not the world's filter. Because if he sees that my photo has 1,000 likes, he might go, oh, okay, the world validates and accepts her, so I'll validate and accept her. I don't want that. I want to know if my being is a match for his value system and is a match for his belief system. Not how does the world see Alexis? Is that what I like? Is that what I also believe? So if he wants my social media, he's not going to get it till we're in a relationship. And I have had men test me with this in the past. They always drop little hints or try to test. I'm very, very strict with these rules. For me, I always make it playful. This is where the strictness but softness will come in. So let's say he asks for my Instagram. I might say something like, oh, that's so sweet that you would want it. Or I might say something like, my Instagram is for the girls only. I don't think you would like what's on there. So I'm very playful with it, and I'm very quick to change the subject, such as, oh, you use Instagram a lot? Okay. Maybe I'll just sit back and then change it for him to go, no, I don't use it too much, or I just use it for business purposes, whatever. So then he goes into explaining why he uses it, and he never gets my account handle. Even what I used to do is I would tell men I'm a feminine energy teacher, not coach, because then they're less likely to find my Instagram. I put everything on social media, everything. And so all of my beliefs and my values, what I teach, it's very easy for a man to become that. And that's not what I was interested in. So I don't give my social media out. Okay, this is like a bonus tip. So here in Dubai, everyone uses WhatsApp. And coming from the US, it was very new for me because we never really used WhatsApp. So if a man were to do something that I didn't like, if I felt a little bit of disrespect, or if I noticed that something was off in his energy, for example, one time I had a man that I met at a grocery store and we started texting, he got my number, and I didn't respond for 5 hours because I was with my friends. He texted me, "Are you in a committed relationship?" I respond, "No. Are you?" He goes, "No, but I'm just wondering why you're taking so long to respond." It's done. Because one thing I don't like is to be rushed. That's gonna go into my next strict girl rule. And so I deleted his number. And on WhatsApp, when you delete someone's number, they can no longer see your profile picture. Why I love that is because it removes access even more. So now, the men that have shown me that wounded masculine energy, you don't even get access to see my profile picture. If you want to see me, you can close your eyes and see me in your dreams, or maybe your nightmares, depending on what you did. So that's number one, no access to social media. If a guy finds your social media and he follows you, don't follow him back. "Oh, it got lost in the followers, I didn't see." That's your response. And also, men respect this so much because they know if you are holding this rule and this standard with them, this goes for all the rules actually. It means they are holding that for other men too. And healthy masculine men love high standards because deep down in their biology, it signals this woman has, oh, sorry guys, my phone is about to fall. This woman has such high standards. She's going to be such an excellent mom if we were to mate and have kids. They're always thinking at a biological level. Guys, I'm so sorry. I'm using this sticky tripod for my phone and it is falling. If I fall down, it's just, yeah, thank you for your patience. If I fall down, it's all the wounded masculine energy shaking the earth. Okay, number 2, no rushing me. I hate being rushed. To me, it feels like a disrespect of time and energy. Ladies, I'm just gonna grab my tripod if you don't mind coming with me for a second. I'll explain this one while we do a little apartment tour. So why I don't love being rushed, why I think it's so disrespectful is, especially in the beginning stages of getting to know someone, if you are taking the time to go out with this man, if you had said yes and agreed to going out with him, and you had a full day of work, and you're taking time at night to go and meet with him, and now he's trying to hurry you to get ready and to do your makeup and all of that, that's very disrespectful to me because I'm making time. I have 7 days in the week and I'm making time for you and you're rushing me. No, that's not gonna work. Let's see. And also, to me, it signals an instant gratification mindset because if a man cannot be patient with you, especially in the first date, especially the first month of getting to know someone, how do you think the rest of the relationship is going to be if he can't even be patient now? So no rushing. This goes with texting. The best men that I've ever dated in my life, they were always the most patient with texting. And you can give them a heads up. You can say something like, "I don't enjoy texting. I'm not a big texter." Sorry, ladies. I'm not a big texter. And this is how you can kind of test to see how much they respect you, because the ones who truly respect you will be 100% okay with you needing that time and space. Okay, let's see. Guys, sorry for that point of view. I'm changing my filming location today because I love you guys. We don't mind. Guys, you are the best. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm changing my filming location today because I've been filming all day in my living room and I really just need to change it up. Okay, I promise after this, It'll be more peaceful. Yay! Okay, tripod is set up. So no rushing. Rushing to me is such a big red flag in dating, and it can test how much patience, how much delayed gratification this man has. The healthiest men will have practiced the most delayed gratification. Okay, let's see. This one, a lot of these seem obvious to me, but years ago they were not so obvious. Touching on the first date. If a man touches me on a first date, that will be our last date. What a lot of men have tested me in the past to try to do is they will put their hand on my knee. I remember when this happened years ago, I felt such an ache in my body because I knew this man was testing a boundary. And usually the men who do this, what they only want is something physical. Men who see you as a long-term investment, who see you as being their wife, they will not touch you because they are not in a rush to move forward physically. They know long-term, okay, of course there's going to be physical intimacy. Of course we are going to be romantic in the future, but I don't need to rush her. She will invite me in when she is ready. The only struggle with this, it's not a struggle, it's a very good struggle, is the healthy masculine men. You will have to be the one that kind of leads and invites them in for the first kiss, for more of those intimate moments. They will not make up an energy. They're very patient, they're very grounded, they are waiting. So don't feel like something is wrong if a man is not kissing you on the third, on the fourth date. Second date, I'm always 50-50 when I tell people about body. I have kissed on second dates before. I don't know if I would recommend it for everyone. The best men that I've dated, our first kiss has always come the third, fourth, sometimes even the fifth date. And usually I'll ask them afterwards, would you have initiated if I didn't? And they always say the same thing. I would have asked, or I was planning to ask. So the respect for your body as a temple, as a sacred feminine energy temple, boundaries with touching you. Physical touch on a first date, be very careful. Living in Dubai has really blown my mind because on a date with this guy, and he told me once, he told me this on our first date, he goes, I would like to court you for marriage. I was like, what? It was my first time ever hearing that on a first date. And he goes, I really want to respect you, and I also really want to respect my body. He told me I'm celibate, I'm waiting till marriage, and I told him, great, I am as well. That's one of my most important values. And he goes, I would like to save all of the physical intimacy, even kissing, until marriage. That for me felt very, very extreme, but for him, that was his strict guy rule, and I respected it because the way he communicated it, he was not going to change his mind if I tried to change it. So when you communicate your strictness, you have to be 100% certain with it, and you have to be so convinced, like a full body conviction, because that will impact how people respond. Now I don't even have to tell men, don't touch me on a first date, because if I were to go on a first date with a man, my energy would communicate to him, if you touch me, it's the last time you ever will. And it's not a threatening way, it's, I respect myself this much, therefore I expect you to also treat me with that respect. All right, let's see. This one, okay, this one is like a small one. If a man didn't text me the day before, like the evening before or the morning of our date, I'm not going on the date. The date will still happen, but it will be a solo date. Men that truly want to communicate well with you and be a good partner for you, they will always over communicate, even at the sacrifice of their ego. So he should message you minimum morning of, and of course the day before, just to confirm the time, the place. Is he picking you up? Is he sending a car? Confirming the plan with you. If a man doesn't, prepare to be the one that's in the masculine energy in the relationship, because he wants to take a back seat and he wants you to be the one that leads and plans. Why I'm so passionate about teaching this is because the first standards that you set will determine the course of the relationship. Of course, you can change them at any time, but It is going to save you so much time and energy if you can rule out the ones who don't like the rules, or if you can set your rules and your man goes, okay, I need to either level up or go and get my life together before I'm ready for her. It was very interesting to me. I was scrolling on TikTok and I saw this post from a man, and he goes, do you ever just see a woman that is wife material, that you know would be the queen that you've been dreaming of, but you know you're not making enough money for her yet, but you know your life is not together enough for her yet? Trust me, men know. Sometimes they won't approach because they don't feel that they're ready for you. Sometimes they will sabotage because they know that they're not ready for you. So be strict with your rules, don't change them. Remember your favorite teachers in school? They were always the strict ones. Always, always, always. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm seeing some good questions. Where do you meet okay, let me answer this one, then we'll come back to the rules. Where do you meet quality guys? You meet quality guys when you are a quality woman. They will find you. Do what you love and the quality men will follow. So here's a few examples of where I have met men in the past. High quality grocery stores. The grocery store that you go to matters. If you go to a grocery store like Sprouts or Whole Foods, or for example, if you live in Dubai, Waitrose, Spinneys, go to grocery stores in high quality areas. They will come and find you. All you have to do, so I have a video, maybe I'll add this one to the description. I have this video where I'm talking about how to flirt and how to get men to approach you, because a lot of us have a block of unconsciously putting up a wall so that masculine energy is too scared to come and approach. I have a video where I'm talking about how to put down that wall. Okay, so it's the girl talk and inner work Q&A. Let me put that in. I will put it in the description for you after. So basically in that video, I'm talking about how to get a man approach is you slow down. You slow down your movements, because if you are moving very fast, you're always pulling away from masculine energy. Masculine energy is very grounded, and a woman in feminine energy is very grounded. So they're both here, they can meet. If you're moving fast, your energy is ungrounded and you're pulling away. And so when you are grounded, when you are moving slow, for example, one of the guys that approached me in a grocery store recently, I was just looking at fruit. I was looking at the berries. I was like, okay, which one doesn't have mold on it? Which one's gonna last the longest? And because I'm in there just enjoying looking at the fruit, he comes up, hey, what are you looking for? Or, oh, you've got such healthy food in your basket. When you are living a life that is honoring yourself the best, men crave that, and you are like a magnet for them to come and approach you. Get yourself into a high quality gym. High quality gyms are great places to meet high quality men. And here's a tip for you, get up early and go, because the men with self-discipline are in there before 7 a.m. If you can join the 5 a.m. club, even better, because those men, they have their business, their entrepreneurship to get to. So high quality gyms, high quality grocery stores, even the city that you live in will make such a difference in your dating life. Cities where people are not born and raised there, if that makes sense. So I'm thinking of like a small town in Alabama versus a city like London. You will meet very, very different men there. You want to be in spaces where men have moved outside of their home country and they're now living in this new city, this new country, because they have stretched that rubber band. They have done some inner work to free and to change their identity. That man is going to match the level of inner work that you are at. His masculine energy is going to match your feminine energy. Other places to meet men, going for walks. Going for walks, this blew my mind. When I moved to Dubai, I thought, it has never been easier to meet men, because when I first moved here, I didn't have a gym yet. I would go for walks all the time. Every single night I left the house, I met a new man. And in my energy, it was because I was excited here, I was slow, I was taking in my surroundings, that so many men would come and approach, because slowness and warmth and curiosity and excitement, it feels inviting for the masculine energy. So pretty much anywhere that you go, that is an investment in your health, your wealth, your mindset. There's even Pilates and Legree studios here in Dubai that men are at. Like, these men on Instagram that have hundreds of thousands of followers that talk about masculine energy, that are coaches themselves, that are more high quality men, they're in the Pilates studios. So literally you just have to enjoy being a woman, and you have to get yourself out of the house more than you usually do. Coffee shops, gyms, church. I had an experience recently where one of my friends, she comes over to me at church and she goes, Alexis, there's a woman that wants to meet you. And I didn't know. I thought, oh, maybe she's a glow girl. I've met a few glow girls at my church. And she comes over and she goes, how long have you been coming to this church, sweetie? Maybe she's like in her 60s. She's this beautiful Nigerian woman. She goes, how long have you been coming to this church, sweetie? And I told her, she goes, wow, you seem really close with God. She's like interviewing me, right? I have no idea what's going on. And afterwards, my friend goes, she wants to set you up with her son. I was like, oh my gosh. So literally, you don't have to put yourself in the perception of a man. You have to do what you love. You have to follow your heart, literally get closer to God, and the men will find you, or their moms will find you. I thought that was so funny. So yes, I talked about this, I think, in Master Your Feminine Energy, the best way to meet men. Having girlfriends who are married, they will always try to set you up with their husband's friends, or being close, being friends with older women. They will always set you up with their sons, their grandsons. They will always trying to be looking to get you a husband. Yeah, I think that's in the dating lesson in Master Your Feminine Energy. Okay, Sam's Club. All right, let's get back to these rules because there's some more fun ones. So messaging on the date. Okay, this one is very, very important also. If a man tries to change my mind about something, especially on a first date, he was eliminated. Why I do this is because if a man cannot hold space for an opinion or a belief that's different from his own, he's got to go. That's not going to work for us. I remember the first time I went on a date, this was maybe 3 years ago. And on our second date, the topic of politics came up. And we had completely opposite political views. And I thought, oh, I don't know, like, will this work? I even went to the bathroom and I was texting my friends. I was like, guys, he's this political party, I don't know. And I felt something shifted me, and I thought, but wouldn't he also be thinking this of you, Alexis? Wouldn't he be thinking, oh, this girl's not a match? And I went back to the table and I thought, you know what? What if I could learn something from his politics? What if one day my own perception changes, which now it's so different. Now I'm so much more in the middle, and there's so much from both sides that I'm learning about and growing with. And he felt no difference in his viewpoint of me. He just accepted it. He was like, tell me more about this. Is it because these were your parents' beliefs? Where did you get these from? And that changed me. Now, if he would try to change my beliefs, he's out. One time a man tried to do this, and I told him, I said, after our date, it was amazing, but I said, I'm only available to date a man who I share the same faith with. I'm Christian, he was Muslim. And he told me, he goes, you should really try to open up your mind. I smiled. I was like, thank you. Have a good night. And I left. I'm not even going to waste time or energy. He goes, we actually have the same God. You don't understand. And that is not my belief at all. And because he couldn't hold space for my opposite belief, it was such an ick in my body. I thought, imagine 5 years from now, when I continue to do inner work and something changes so much in my identity or belief, if he can't even hold space for that now, in a marriage, there's no way he's going to be able to do that. So you want a man who has an open mind and an open heart. The healthiest men always do. They love learning, they love growing. This is why I suggest being with a man who is an entrepreneur or a business owner, because he has to challenge his beliefs to grow. He has to challenge his belief that 10K months are small in order to jump to the 30, 40, 50K months. He's had to challenge his beliefs that what mission, what purpose he has is worthy of selling, is worthy of sharing, that his voice matters. So you want a man with an open mind. He's going to allow other men to change his own beliefs and to empower him. If he's teachable, like if he has a mentor or a coach, beautiful. That is such a healthy green flag. And if he cannot accept your opposite belief or opinion, you've got to let him go. Okay. Where is Gus? Gus is actually in doggy daycare right now. I've got to head out in about 15 minutes to go pick him up. The days that I'm filming my content, like from 10 a.m. to right now it's about 6:30 p.m., I always have him go to doggy daycare. He hangs out with the neighbors and his friends, and I feel so bad just leaving him on the couch all day while I'm filming. So yes. Yeah, not all coaches are healthy. You should have a filtration system where you can observe his beliefs and his mindsets to assess if what his coach is teaching him is healthy. If his coach is Andrew Tate, obviously he's gone. Okay. Let's see. Any compliments about my body? Gone. Gone, gone, gone. I had a guy that a while ago I was texting, and I remember thinking, this is such an ick to me. And I was telling him I just got back from the gym, and he goes, oh, is that why your body is so nice? That was the last time he ever had access to me. The men that truly respect you and respect your body, they will not make a comment about your body. Here's what you'll see on dates. Some men will try to test this too. If a man says something like, you have such a nice body, or how'd you get that figure, or you have really good genetics, gone. Don't even waste your time. That man is full of lust, and a lustful man is never satisfied. What healthy masculine men will say, and I think it's so cute. I've noticed this. I almost always wear dresses on first dates, and I would start to notice a pattern. Men that are healthy and in their masculine energy, this is what they've told me. That dress is really nice that you're wearing. That's such a beautiful outfit. You have great fashion. They will always compliment the dress. Very little will they say something like, that dress looks so good on you, because that's borderline complimenting your body. They're not even going to talk about your body because, like I said in the beginning, they're thinking long-term. They know it's going to get there where they can make more comments like that when you guys are in a committed relationship. A man that can't even control his tongue, he's not going to be able to control other parts of himself. And you definitely don't want to deal with that. Thank you, Samaria. Let's see. I can't wait to see Alexis get married. I just know this man is going to be a king. Thank you so much, girl. Let's see. Thank you so much, ladies. Okay, let me get to these rules because I am going to have to go grab Gus from daycare pretty soon. Trying to change my mind. Compliments about the body. This one I know can be, this one's a rule for me, but for everyone, it doesn't have to be a rule. I don't like when men cuss in front of me, especially on the first date, especially on the first few dates. Because would someone cuss in front of a queen? If you got invited to a dinner party with a queen, would you cuss in front of her? Absolutely not. A man that's comfortable having a mouth that can say a cuss word is a man that doesn't have self-discipline and doesn't see you as something precious to protect. Why? Because he's not ready to have something precious, number one, or to protect it. And so for me, it is a red flag when a man cusses. I don't like it. I think it's an ick. And I just think it's low self-discipline. And it's also low intelligence. And I'm not attracted to low intelligence. I want smart kids. Okay. If you have close female friends that are not your sisters, not your mother, and not your husband's wives. And even husbands' wives, hanging out with them one-on-one, absolutely not. But I'm talking about if you consider your husband's wife a friend because she's in the group with her husband, that to me does make sense. But if you have close female friends, that's going to be the last date for us. And what I noticed so back in the day in college, when, like I said, when I was in a situationship and I thought this doesn't feel good, but I didn't have the inner work to know how to accept better. Low quality men always have close female friends. As I've gotten older and I'm stricter and stricter and stricter with my standards, the men have gotten better and better and better. And what I would notice in my dating life was that the men who I would go out with, and I would say this at first, I was so scared. I would say one of my non-negotiables is close friends of the opposite gender. I'm not going to do it in relationships. Always, they would say, I don't even have close female friends. I absolutely agree. Healthy masculine men will love that you don't have close female friends or close male friends and will not have any themselves. If you don't believe me on this, ask any man. Do men have close female friends that they're not attracted to? When you get that answer, you will also be strict with this rule. Men don't have close female friends that they're not attracted to, because in their mind they think, why do I need to have a female friend that I'm not attracted to? Always there's little attraction. And the only reason that nothing has happened is because the woman has set the boundary. I would rather have a man that has set the boundary. Okay, we talked about that one. Talking bad about another woman, especially your ex or your mom, gone. Feel like I don't even need to explain this one. And also, guys that have close female friends, to me it feels like little boy energy. It feels like teenage, like, oh, he's still in high school. He has close female friends because that's just that's what's around, and he can't really choose it. There's men and women in the school. So again, to me, it's little boy energy. And when you can see men that don't step up to these rules, when you can see them as little boys, that's when you can say, okay, I'm not attracted to that, and I'm only available for kings. I'm only available for a grown man, not someone that has the mindset of a little kid. It's immature. Okay, what else did I want to say about this? I do want to answer some questions from the chat too. If you ladies want to ask me anything that you feel may be a good strict rule, or anything that you're doing now that you are questioning, let me know and I'll take a look at it. One more thing that I want to say on this is check his ego. Always check a man's ego. This is why I say never chase a man, never pursue, because if he's not willing to risk his ego to pursue you, he is not the one. What I mean by that is if a man can't risk you shutting him down, or he can't risk the embarrassment of talking to you and he doesn't walk away with his phone number, he's not that interested, or he's not ready to be a king. Men that are ready to be that husband for you, they are very willing to sacrifice their ego. They're like a knight in shining armor. They live to serve you. They don't care if they get hurt in the process because they see you as so rewarding that it's worth the risk. How you can check his ego, number one, see how much he's pursuing you. The more he pursues you, likely the less ego he has. Just be careful with love bombers. But also you can ask these two questions. What's something you're unlearning? If a man can't tell you anything he's unlearning in life, probably a red flag. Perfect, he doesn't have any areas that he needs to improve or that he wants to get better. And that means when you are doing inner work, you're going to continue pulling away from him naturally, and he's going to remain the same. What's that going to do to the polarity? Number two, you can ask him what's something that you no longer believe that you used to. That would be a great one to check his ego. And also see, can he question his own beliefs? Who you marry is the number one financial choice you will ever make. Your finances always mirror your relationship with masculine energy. If you are married to a man who he's not growing, he's staying the same, he's limiting you, he is not pushing himself to be better, you're also going to have that energy in the house, in the relationship. And when you get an idea, I want to start this business or have this YouTube video come out, you're also going to have him that you are constantly plugged into. You're going to have his energy that's impacting you. And so when people say who you marry is your number one financial decision and number one financial investment, that's what they mean. It's very, very important that you check his belief system and his mindset to make sure that it supports you and where you want to go in life. Okay, let's see. Yes. Yes, I'm just seeing so many of my girls live today because it is nighttime for me. So I think it's morning over in the US, very early morning. Okay, any questions that you ladies are having? I'm probably going to run in about 5 minutes. I know these live streams have been so quick recently, but I want to make sure that I can keep doing them every week. I had a man ask 2 different women to ask me if I'm interested before ever approaching himself. That was such an ick. Yes. Because what's going to happen if, this is an extreme example, but if someone comes and robs the house, babe, can you go check who's out there? No, I can't do it. That man needs to have strength. He needs to be fearless. He needs to be in his masculine energy. Huge reminder, not every man is bad. What's so heartbreaking in the world today is there's this huge divide between men and women. There are so many good men. That's why I'm so excited for marriage one day, because I'd love to have my husband with me and being like the masculine energy voice that says, no, there are good men. Sometimes you just have to see it to believe it. And what I want you to do, if you're feeling like there's only bad men out there, I want you to listen to healthy masculine energy podcasts, read their books, hear about their marriages, because that's going to, again, make your beliefs that men are good. It's going to solidify that for you. Anytime you see a TikTok about a man cheating, or you're reading a story about a man that was abusive or disrespectful, get that out of your eyes and your ears as fast as possible so that it does not become normal. Social media has made cheating feel like it's so normal, where everyone's freaking out and they think all men cheat. All men do not cheat. There are a lot of creators and coaches online who say that this is true. That is their very small, limited rubber band. But it's their truth because it's their own experience and they're sharing from their experience. So just be careful about who you listen to, because it will impact your beliefs. Everyone said, yep, everyone told me my standards were too high too. When you have your dream partner, it will not matter. And always remember there's someone with higher standards than you. That's what really helps me. Every time I feel like I'm stuck at an income level or stuck at a limiting belief, I always think, someone thinks my current level is small. And that makes me want to grow even higher. Who determined these are the standards for dating? No one came into this world and said, this is the right standard, this is the wrong standard, this is how far you're allowed to set your standards. No. You are the one that creates your standards. And again, you have to get in groups where that is your norm. Here's what's so interesting to me. The other day I had brunch with my girlfriends and we were talking about our love lives. And one of the topics that came up, this is so different than conversations I would have had a couple years ago. One of my friends goes, when you begin a relationship with a guy, how does he put his credit card on your phone? Like, does he tell you, or do you ask him? And then she shared how her current partner had just started giving her his credit card. And she's like, how does that happen for you guys? And I thought, wow, years ago I would have thought a man providing like that is absolutely crazy. Like, I couldn't ask him to cover my expenses or to want to pay for me. But here, that's very normal, because in the Middle East, women were taught men provide for you or they do not get access to you. So for my friend, I was asking her more about her beliefs with that and just trying to figure out where that comes from because it's so different than in America. And she goes, oh, I would never expect anything less. Either my parents provide for me or my man will provide for me. If he can't provide for me, he's not ready to be my husband. And I thought, I love it. I just thought that was such a good explanation. So your location, your friend group, everything impacts your standards. Some people in the US would say, that's so hot, you can't ask a man to do that. And for some people, it's when he's your husband, he provides for you that way. For some girls, it's after the third date, he needs to provide that way. So you decide what is normal and understand in different areas of the world, it is different than your beliefs. And they allowed it to be different. Ooh, okay. I'm loving the chat. Would you date or be friends with someone who's not doing inner work or taking courses on their own but open to learning from you? I would never date a man that wants to learn inner work from me. And I mean, yes, of course, we'll be teaching each other inner work, but I'm talking about if a man goes, can you teach me money inner work? No. That's like, I already feel an ick in my body because I don't know if I have the words to explain it in this moment, but I feel it's almost dating down. And as a woman, that is one of the worst things that you can do. Because always, if you are teaching a man, if you are the one that is like in the mother role, in the teacher role, he sees you as a teacher, he doesn't see you as his partner. And if a man is below here, like if he hasn't done that inner work and he wants you to pull him up, while you're busy pulling him up, you're hurting your back and you are almost getting worse off by spending your time and your energy pulling him up. What happens whenever a woman starts building with a man? Look at all of those scenarios where men and women date for 10 plus years and they're building a business together, they're building families together, but he hasn't married her yet. When there's an imbalance in the relationship like that, something is always off, and he almost always ends up leaving the relationship. Why? Because he feels unworthy and he ends up resenting that. A man needs to feel like he has earned you, like he has put in the work to pursue you and to make you his. This is why the higher your standards, the better your relationship will be, because you've allowed him the chance to earn you. You've allowed him the chance to feel like a masculine energy man. If you give yourself to him so easily, something will be off in his mind and he'll say, she must not feel that she's worthy because she's making it too easy for me. He needs to feel that worth on his own within by earning and working for you. So all of my best friends do their own inner work. It looks different for them than it does for me. For me, I like traveling is a big part of my inner work, being in, like investing in, so I did a conference earlier in January that really stretched my rubber band and taught me a lot. For me, it's a lot of experiences of things that are uncomfortable. It's investing financially at an uncomfortable level in things for myself. Inner work looks different for everyone. The important thing is, are people doing inner work? If they are not, if they are comfortable staying the same, it's not going to be a comfortable relationship for you. There's a reason why hypergamy exists, the idea of dating up, because when in history has a woman ever dated down and it's been good for her children? It never has. Our focus used to be, how can we create the best life for our children and for our lineage and for our family? Now, because we don't have that mindset, we're not thinking in survival, we're not thinking about giving our kids the best life. Sometimes we're thinking about giving ourselves the best love and fantasy. Because that's the priority, we tend to accept worse treatment, which makes our relationship long-term way worse and way more stressful. That's why the divorce rate has gone up so much, because we're dating out of order. We are focusing on chemistry. We are focusing on sacrificing our standards because we want the Disney love that we're taught. We're settling in a lot of areas and it's coming back to hurt us, to hurt our children later. Yep. He's also siphoning energy learning from you, not paying for a course, in a way, taking it for free. Especially my girls in my courses. You do not teach a man. He needs to pay you if you're going to teach him. You have paid a lot for your own inner work. Absolutely. And of course, I want to add this in relationships. You guys will teach each other inner work. Like, you will probably teach him it's safe to open up his emotions. It's safe to, like, you'll encourage him to take risks in his business. You will encourage him to have, or to be the man that he can be at the next level. So there will be teaching in relationships, but I'm talking about first off dating. If he's like coming to your dates with a notebook, how did you do this and that? No, that's not gonna work. Are you ever nervous that a guy could study you and just pretend to be what you want since you have a U2? I used to be nervous about this, yes. And then I realized that God gives a gift called discernment. And I feel I have very, very strong discernment. When I meet someone, immediately I feel here if I should continue a relationship with this person, I'm talking a friend especially, or not. My discernment is very strong. The closer I get to God, this is why every day I wake up, the first thing I do, read the Bible, I pray before I go to bed, because my relationship with God, the closer I get with him, the stronger my discernment grows. When I hear his voice, because I'm reading his word, I can have a better filter system in the world. What else did I want to say on this? Also, people cannot hold a mask longer than 3 to 6 months. And so I'm not worried about that, especially in friendships, relationships, because eventually the truth will come out. The truth does always come out. And I can tell when something is not someone's true belief. I can feel it in their energy. I can read it in their energy. Okay. Ladies, I'm gonna have to run in about 2 minutes. I really would love to answer another question. Okay, sorry. For Gus's daycare, they have a pet taxi. It's literally the cutest thing. And I'm just messaging them now. Okay. Okay, we're good. Sayana, thank you, girl. I'm so happy to have you ladies here. Okay. Do we need to let them know when agreeing to date that we need confirmation? I'm not sure what that question means. Can you let me know what you mean by confirmation? Yep. So basically, if a man hasn't done his own healing and inner work, it should be a no. Yes. Of course, there's always levels to inner work, but if he is still trying to learn how to process and release anger, you've got to let that man go, because you are going to be the punching bag a lot of the times that he learns from. That is not going to be healthy. If he has to learn how to have self-discipline, especially when it comes to lust, especially when it comes to his own discipline within a relationship, you've got to let that man go. He is not ready for you. The healthy men that you date, they will be at a similar level of inner work than you, or higher. Oh, okay, confirm. So confirm for the date. We need to communicate the standard? No, you do not. Men will know. Most of those standards, you don't need to communicate. Only if they test you. I'm happy in my current relationship and I'm young. Do you think it would have been better if I waited longer? I think you're exactly where you need to be. Relationships are the best teacher for inner work. The most growth you will ever have in your inner work will be inside of your relationships. And so if you are starting to doubt the relationship because of age because of feeling you're too young, I would ask, do you feel that there's experiences that you missed out on? Do you feel that who you were back then doesn't match who you are now and you need to set new standards? You can always set new standards in a relationship. This one, I knew this one was coming. What do I do if I've outgrown my boyfriend 2 years in? This is a tricky one. So this is going to be a short answer, but I could honestly make a whole video about feel that you have outgrown your partner. This happens, two things will happen. Either there will be a breakup, but this is the most likely one. You have to give him some time, but he will level up to meet your standard. Because you have activated a new identity within you, because you are setting new standards and you're taking care of yourself differently, you're seeing life differently, your friends are changing, your environment is changing. These shifts for him, because he's a grounded masculine man, panic is going to go off in his mind because it's threatening what he views as comfort. You're doing all this inner work, especially if you are constantly immersed in a certain type of inner work. You're getting all of this, like you get this safeness to hold you while you're doing your inner work and to keep feeding you trainings, but he's not getting that. And so it's hard when you go, well, why can't you just match my level? You have to give him time because your activation, your juicy feminine energy coming to life will activate him. It just takes time. So remember that men, anything that threatens their stability and their comfort and what is familiar, for men especially too, they need security. It's not like us where we can flow and we can do this and that and we can change and be fluid. Men are very, very straight. Even the way that their mind is, it's very different from ours. So when you are flowing this way and that way, it can make him become, it can cause a lot of triggering moments in the relationship. That's very, very normal. That's actually very good for the relationship because it's going to bring you guys closer when you can work through that and challenge each other. But you have to hold that new identity and you cannot force him to change. Even things like, a lot of my students will do this, they'll try to hint to get him to change. Babe, maybe you should follow this coach or take this course. It has to be his own inner work journey, because if someone did that for you, you would be less likely to change. You had to seek out the inner work in order to actually value it and make it important to you. You have to give him time and space to do the same. So I hope that helps. Yeah. Oh, my girl. I'm a Middle Eastern woman. I grew up with all this high standards and I moved to the US and I'm having such a hard time dating. I almost stopped dating. Do you have any advice for me? I want you to try exploring different cities. And yeah, I can completely understand that because I live in the Middle East now. So I would just look at new cities, but also I would see if you can join any groups where maybe from your country, there are people that have a Facebook group for just like, let's say that you're from Jordan. If you can find other people that are from Jordan that are living in the US, hang out with them, meet them, join the clubs, the activities that you're at. My mom lives over in the Midwest, and I was so shocked to see the strong Middle Eastern community where she lives, because I thought this is such an American area, but the Middle Eastern community out there was so strong because they stick together. So find your group where they are still sharing those values, and also have fun dating everyone, because there's so much you can learn. And when you set high standards, you will call a man to be his best. He's gonna love that. He might not be used to it, but he's going to love it. All right, ladies. I've got to run. Oh my girl, my sweet girl. Thank you so much for the gift. Inner work for baddies. I appreciate you, and I cannot wait to see you in our next coaching session. I actually just emailed you today. All right, ladies, thank you for being here. I love you so much. I cannot wait to see you in the next video, and have a great rest of your day. Bye, everybody.